know what I've done. I'll close him. Get rid of him.
No worries, sir. You've got time while I reset out some, You should be able to hear him better now. If he speaks.
Hello. It's me. I'm still here.
There you go. In theory, you can hear him now, and that is perfect.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say perfect. I'll say I'm here.
Absolutely. It's definitely something, you know?
Oh, it is definitely something.
Okay.
I can talk to the people that don't want to hear my lovely, terrible accent, which isn't. I don't really have an accent, but
It's a northern accent, I'm sure.
well,
I'm from the south. Everything above London is the north, you know?
that's about how England works. So everything above London is north.
Yeah, we don't really recognise the Midlands. It's just the north.
It is the north and the south. That is it. There's
Exactly.
A split across the UK.
And the south is right at the bottom, and everything that's not right at the bottom is the north. There's some geography from England, people.
Yep. Geography of England, from England, everything north of London is just the north.
The north. Right then, I suppose. I better not keep your audience waiting. What kind of questions do you have in mind, good sir?
Let's hit it up with question numero uno. From John from Silsby.
Yes.
These are not real people. Let's go with Mr. Maladek. Can we have your real name, please?
You can. It is Maladek the Wizard.
Yep. Oh, this is going perfect.
You see, my identity is as unknown to me as it is to everyone else. In a long time ago in the land of Halek, I did have a name, but there are some circumstances that occurred that removed the necessity for me to retain that name and controlled and changed me into something else. Something entirely that even Chalice over there isn't quite aware of because they haven't made it that far in the campaign yet.
Oh, I see, yes. The campaign of life.
That's right. That's right. So, yes, my name is Maladek.
Maladek, Mr. the Wizard.
That's right, Maladek the Wizard. The Wizard, all one word, not hyphenated, you know. It's not double barrel like that, you see.
Maladek the Wizard.
The Wizard. Yes, that's exactly right. I'm proud of you. Good job, good sir. Well done. I should probably change this.
I give my how to pronounce names perfectly.
Exactly. Let's just change this to an interview. I should have done this earlier, really.
Yeah, well, I tried, but I'm not. Apparently, Twitch has got a actual category for interview, so I went with that.
It does it? Yes, it does.
That's why I clicked interview, and weirdly enough, it seemed to have worked.
Well, there you go. That'll do. I was going to do talk show, but that's fine. I can deal with this. Interview is fine.
Talk show, interview. Well, I'll go with the same thing, really.
Exactly. It's all good sir.
Right, we need to go. This question isn't really going to work.
How
did you come up with your ego? With your, not your ego, your.
So where did the Maladek the Wizard brand come from, yes?
Oh yes, you've got it, sir.
So, realistically, this was an ego that I brought about in a game of Dungeons and Dragons, you see. I'm a dungeon master by trade, and I was playing with a group of friends, and they'd made it to a town that I'd been planning for a while, and I wanted to give them a bit of a wacky character to meet, so they walk into a magic shop, and suddenly, greetings and welcome to Maladek's Wizard Emporium occurred, and then from that, it's really where it snowballed from. I wanted to go into Twitch and thought I'm going to give myself a character, because one of the important things on Twitch is to make yourself distinguishable, and I think having a character gives you a lot of sort of a unique presence on the platform, so then I just thought I'd pick the same character I'd already come up with, save some of the hassle, and I've got some of the canon and the lore behind Maladek already under my belt, so it made life much easier, I think, that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good way of doing it, I suppose. I've never really. I wanted to try D&D. I don't think I had the patience. That is the problem that I've got.
It's very much a game that I think it depends on the group of people you're with, because there's lots of different ways you can do it. Some people will constantly read the rule book, other people will kind of use it as a basis, and some people, when I first started playing, I didn't have any of the rules, I just kind of made it up as I went along, so...
caution to the wind.
It is more important that the story was there for me than the rules were on point.
I know, that's how I'd be. I prefer the story towards the rules.
Indeed.
I'm not a stickler for the rules.
Yeah, no,
I think rules are made to be broken.
It's certainly something I found in my time playing, that I will use the rules to give myself a bit of a basis, something to kind of make sure that I'm doing my stuff right, but realistically, if someone wants to do something and it's not specifically defined in the rules, I'll make it up, you know? Oh, just roll this dice, roll a 20 on this and you pass, or... It's better for people that they don't have to just always feel like they've got to check the rule book, you know? I think it's important that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's best to have fun than it is to stick with the rules, I think.
Absolutely.
Fun is number one priority, we should say.
Yes, indeed.
Right, as a wizard...
Yes.
You should have some magical hobbies.
Yes.
Can you name a few of them?
Well, as many of you know, I enjoy playing the Magic Kazoo, of course. As mentioned previously, I'm a Dungeons & Dragons aficionado, which I feel like it's a fairly magical experience, I think. So it's definitely a worthwhile cause to go for. Other magical hobbies. I like the magic of music, such as, you know what a bard would do, but I feel like I have the magic of changing someone's... mood almost sometimes with the right song. The right song at the right time can magically change someone's way of thinking.
Yeah, I'm quite a fan of magical music.
Excellent.
I think if you're all down, you've just lost a fight, and then here comes one of the teammates singing a beautiful song that'll raise everybody's spirits.
That's right. A morale boost.
Yeah. Definitely. I think a lovely song at the end of the day would be a definite morale boost. And I've seen some videos about this magical music.
Yes.
Is it true that you are the Kazoo Kid?
No, it is not. I'm not, unfortunately, the Kazoo Kid. I'm more like the Kazoo Man, you see.
The Kazoo Wizard?
Yes, indeed, the Kazoo Wizard. I don't think I've got any kazoo in any of the songs that I've done on the YouTubes and whatnot. I've not managed to incorporate kazoos, but at some point there is a chance I will be adding some kazoo in if those in my chat that do the exclamation mark dun 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 or the king command will notice there are kazoos in there, as well as sort of trumpets and other fanfare. But that is certainly something that it's quite important to me.
It's always good to have I'd like to play a musical instrument. I mean, the kazoo is just something... The kazoo has blown up in the past year or so.
I think so. It's definitely... I think it's unique enough that I can use it as my kind of unique selling point, but it's also quite an enjoyable instrument, because it takes a lot more practice than people give it credit for, because, I mean, the first thing I learned was that you don't blow into it. You have to kind of... speak into it. A do. Everything you do must be a do, because if you blow, it sounds a little something like this. No noise, but you've got to go something like that with do. You've got to say like a do rather than blowing if you wanted to make any kind of real sound, which is an interesting one. The other thing I learned was that you don't. It's not like a normal instrument where you blow through the small end and it amplifies through the big end. You actually have to make noise through the large end and it gets funneled through to the tiny end, which was really an odd one for me, for instruments.
So really, we've heard it here first. You don't blow the big end.
That's right.
You give it a good dun-dun.
Give it a good do-do in the small end and let the big end do its... or you give it a do-do in the big end and let the small end do its job, yes.
Yes. If you want to give it a good do-do, then give it a good do-do, but let it free.
Absolutely.
I mean, at this moment in time, I mean, you've been streaming for I don't know. How long have you... That's a good question. How long have you been streaming for?
So it's around about a year and a half, I think. Year and a half, maybe 7 or 8 months, something like this. It's my stream anniversary we celebrate, I think, in January or February time, I'm sure. So Yeah, it must be about a year and a half now.
I mean, you've come a long way. I mean, how many? I can't see how many followers you want at the minute because of the Google being all.
I believe it's 798 now. 798 followers.
798. I mean, that's something to be proud of.
Absolutely, it blows my mind every day. I think, you know, it's actually one of the things I'm quite proud of. Is a lot of people will say when they start they want to get like 1 million followers in a couple of days, and it's one of the things I've always been sort of dead set against. Even from the start when I first did it, is you always think you're ready, but if you think you are, I can guarantee that you aren't.
You need a lot of, I don't know, background. You need a lot of jumping, going for it.
It's certainly an experience-based thing. You see, when you're doing Twitch, it's better if you've got 10 followers and you make a massive cock-up and lose 10% of your followers. That's only one person. If you have 1 million followers and you make a cock-up and lose 10% of your audience, that's a big number to lose. So it's although you never want to lose a follower, it's better to make mistakes or have a stream where you have no audio because you've forgotten to turn the mic on in OBS when you're very small and people can make up for it. But if you are big and this happens, this can be a huge issue. So that's why I'm quite proud of the fact that I'm growing steadily rather than fast, because it gives me the time to learn what I can do, what I can't do, what people will get offended at, which is a lot of things nowadays. So it's quite good to learn that for a while. And really to try and get to the sort of the nut of the problem and work out, you know, if I'm doing something, how well it's going to be received, and indeed how well I'm doing it.
I can't tell you the amount of times that I've gone to stream and then just missed hitting that unclick mute button.
Absolutely. I think when I first started streaming, one of the big things I used to do, I was playing War Thunder, and because that game required a lot of times of restarting it and then turning it back on again, so many times I either accidentally muted the sound on the stream, or I didn't remember to tab out. And this was I only had one monitor, so I couldn't tab out to look at these things. Now I've got two, it's a little easier. And but I'd either have no video for the stream or literally no audio. This is Captain England interviewing me, Kamazura. Chalice, can you be on hand to plug his channel when anyone asks? In fact, Cammy knows you. Cammy, I'm sure it was you that I sort of...
Yeah. Cammy, you came over from... I brought you over from the...
That's right, I poached.
Yes.
I poached him and Zuko and Sonic.
Yeah, I think... well, who else was it? There was XX Punishment XX. He came over as well.
That was mine first.
Was he? He got... See, we share.
He was definitely mine first. He's mine, boy, mine.
You can keep him. You can keep him.
No one wants him today. I'm joking, of course. Too harsh. He's now your punishment one.
Oh, who have we? We've got Anal Punishment in the chat. Said he's got a question for you.
Oh, good God.
Hasn't actually left the question yet. Oh, here we go. How many? Where do you want him to? See, this is going to complete your notes. You can't hear the questions at all. But he wants to know. Ask him how many Brussels can he fit.
Fit where?
That's what I'm worried about.
I mean, this is because in my stream I was just talking about he's Craigasming in the screen right now. So no, it's Gachi based. Sorry. This relates to a fact I was telling him that Brussels sprouts cause the smelliest farts, according to, I don't know if you ever watched Brainiac Science Abuse, a television program.
Yes, with Mr. John Tickle.
That's right, Mr. John Tickle and Mr. Richard Hammond, all of the good stuff. The things that make you go, Yes, I was rewatching some of that yesterday and found out that indeed Brussels sprouts cause the smelliest farts. So I think this is what it's relating to, and I don't eat Brussels sprouts as a point of honor because I don't want to, because they're not nice, you see. That's why I don't eat them.
I think there's room on the plate for Brussels sprout. Just a cheeky one.
This would be a travesty if I were to consume such a thing, for it is just disgusting, you know? It just doesn't taste nice. I've never understood why it's such a fixation of, especially English people, to force children to eat sprouts. They're not particularly good for you compared to any other vegetable, and they taste like vomit.
Well, I suppose you could. I suppose, yeah, they do. They're just mush.
Exactly. It's like, why would I eat that when I could have frozen peas? Now, frozen peas, even as a child, you gave me a bowl full of... That was like a treat. Frozen peas in a bowl, and they've still got all the ice attached to them, but they're just so good because they're all crunchy and pea.
I could honestly say I've never had frozen peas, a bowl of frozen peas.
I feel like I thought that was a bigger thing, you know? Thank you, Grim. Most appreciated.
No, honestly, I don't really hear a lot of people talk about having frozen peas.
Chalice, is this a thing that I was unique in having?
What?
Frozen peas in a bowl, like a little bowl of frozen peas as a treat.
Possibly.
Okay, so yes, I'm the only person.
You're the only person.
I thought this was an English tradition, but apparently I was wrong.
No.
Oops.
I mean, I don't really know people eating a lot of frozen vegetables.
I'm not gonna lie, I would eat it still today. I would still eat frozen peas. I've never understood. This is a good Chalice behind me. He's just asked me about mushy peas.
Oh, mushy peas.
Are wrong.
Come on.
Mushy peas are wrongs.
If you live where I live, we live near, I don't know, we live near the seaside. There's quite a bit of seaside near us.
Yes.
So you walk down the promenade, shall we say, be posh up in here,
Yes.
and you get like a little plastic cup from the fish and chip shop,
Yes.
mushy peas and a bit of mint sauce.
That sounds like the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. And Grim Reaper in the chat has had frozen peas before. I think he's saying so. Yes, good on you. And as a treat. He's the same as me. He wouldn't have them every day, but as a treat. Oh, but not as a treat. Okay, I misread that.
Oh, not as a treat, yeah. When his oven's not working or his his microwave's not working.
We
he'll
did
have
find the
frozen
wizard, Grim.
peas. Just to prove a point.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if any of your audience are looking for a cheap and easy snack, frozen peas, it reminds me of my childhood. Maybe that's why I like them so much. I'll force feed Chalice some in a couple days and see what she thinks of it.
Hold it down and force feed bird's eye frozen peas. I mean, that's
No, it's always Tesco value frozen peas. Tesco value frozen. Well, you wouldn't want to cook them, would you? So frozen is fine.
I do like garden. I'm a fan of garden peas.
Garden peas, I see.
Garden peas. I mean, them in a bowl. Yeah, I can go with that. But frozen peas, no, I'm sorry. Must be some kind of restores your mana or something.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, obviously I have peas quite regularly, but it's certainly.
It's canon now. Frozen peas restores your mana.
Okay, frozen peas restore. Okay, yeah, sure, why not? We'll go with that. Canonically, Maladek requires frozen peas to restore mana.
There we go. Frozen peas, frozen vegetables is a complete mana restorer. I think that's definitely a way of looking at things.
Indeed. Certainly it's certainly a different one.
Oh, I've never heard of a wizard that needs.
Have you ever heard of a wizard that plays a kazoo for money?
Well, no, to be fair, I've never heard of a wizard that plays a kazoo for money.
Well, there you go. I'm an anomaly, as most wizards are, you know.
Well, to be fair, to find a wizard, it's hard enough.
Very true. Very true. I know it all too well.
A wizard, what is it? A wizard never arrives late. He arrives exactly at the time he was meant to.
A wizard can never be late. He merely comes and goes as he pleases. Something like this. That's right. We come exactly when we mean to, you see?
You're never forced to. Always got to put that in. Never forced to come. Don't ever say that.
No, we're not forced to come. Always where we are destined to be.
So we've got another question from somebody called Monster Kiddo.
Oh, Monster Kiddo, what a babe.
On a scale from 1 to 10, what is your favourite colour of the alphabet? His is pineapple.
Oh, mine would be strawberry.
Oh, there we go. A lovely strawberry colour of
Indeed.
the alphabet. That's perfect.
I'm proud of Kiddo. He's, now you may know this, Kiddo has been one of our most consistent supporters of the channel since pretty much day one. He's the longest running subscriber to the channel, so it's big shout out to Mr. Monster Kiddo, a beautiful human being. Even in those months where he barely was able to come to the streams because they were at the different times for him, he was still there, and it means so much. And what a babe, you know? What a babe.
We'll go on to... I've lost track of what question we're on now, to be fair.
Color of the alphabet.
Favourite colour of the alphabet, yes.
I feel like that was one that you could lose track of and it wouldn't matter too much, I think, if I'm honest.
Well, you say that, but it seemed really important to him. Or her, or whatever. There's more than two. There's more than two.
Oh god, let's not get into that today.
Oh god, I've got that a wormhole.
It's too late for that now. I'm not assuming genders, although as far as I'm aware he identifies as a he and uses the he, him pronouns, so you're all good, sir.
Oh god, let's get out of this. Let's build a ladder and get out of this hole.
That's correct.
Okay, so question number 8. Couldn't think of a number.
Okay.
You walk into your kitchen, whatever, or a shop. You go for a sandwich. What is the filling?
Well, it's funny you should mention that. In my youth, I was a sandwich artist at a very well-known sandwich chain.
Yes.
I've made a fair few sandwiches in my day. So, assuming I can toast the sandwich...
You can do whatever you like to this sandwich.
Do whatever I like. It would be turkey with sausage and bacon and with lettuce, with warmed lettuce and warmed sweet corn and fresh tomato and cucumber with mayonnaise and barbecue sauce and maybe a little bit of spicy mayo over the top. No cheese, because I don't like cheese, but that would be my perfect sandwich.
So you sat down at the table. You've got your sandwich right in front of you.
Yes.
What drink do you have next to you?
Usually water. I'm a very big fan of just plain water. I'm a bit boring, but with that kind of sandwich, I probably would have a mix of Coke and Fanta.
A mix of Coke
Yeah,
and
if you
Fanta?
mix it, we used to do this at work a lot. We called it mud because it went kind of like a light brown color like mud, and it is a very nice to make, very nice drink. Is a mix of Coke and Fanta, about 50-50, usually a little bit more Fanta than Coke, because Coke's quite a strong and potent flavour. So maybe more like 60-40 with Coke and Fanta.
Right, okay. We do have another question from... We'll go from the list, and if a question pops up on the chat, we'll go with that.
Absolutely fine by me.
There's another question from Mr. Anal Punishment. What are the 10 things that you have put your wand into? In what way have you used your wand, sir?
Well, it's somewhat of a misnomer because
so
I'm a wizard that doesn't use a wand, you see. Yet. I use my hands, and I have a staff, but I do not have a wand, so I can quite hand on heart say nothing.
There we go. We've heard it here first. He had not put his wand into anything, although he does have a staff.
Exactly, and if someone wishes to gift me a wand, I will put it in something, I'm sure. Maybe
Okay,
a jar of
wand
mayonnaise.
straight away. One wand, so he can go around and just stick it in things.
Apparently Chalice, Sylvia the Witch owns a wand, so she may end up coming here and telling us what she's put her wand into. Would you like to do that, Chalice? No, apparently not.
Weirdly enough, I don't blame her.
Well, you know, As a channel, I like to support other female content creators by allowing them to have a platform here, you see. Very smart and diverse, you see.
Very, very smart.
Yes.
And that might have to be a question that I ask everybody. What, if you had a wand, what would you stick it in?
You know what, people? As you know, my stream title is always a question nowadays, people. The next stream title, if Chalice reminds me, will be, if you had a wand, what would you stick it in? And then you'll hear my answer to what I would stick it in. That's promise from me to you. There you go. That's for you, Anal.
That's for you, Anal. What would Maladek stick his wand in?
Absolutely.
Oh, it's just getting better and better as the day goes along.
It's always a danger to ask a community to ask questions to someone on the internet who's live. I will admit freely that this is a very tame considering what they have asked.
To be fair, I thought I'll be getting something most weird if we go down that route.
Yes, indeed. It's been fairly normal per se. Sort of normal.
I know what you mean. I know what you're trying to say.
It's average, you know, compared to what I've seen in my time.
What other questions have we got? Right, you've had your drink.
Yes.
Gone too fast. You've got the hiccups.
Yes.
How do you get rid of them? What is your go-to? There's a load of ways that. There's a load of, I don't know, old wives' tales.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. I usually just sort of let them go as they will, because usually if I get hiccups, it's at a time where it's not convenient to go to my go-to. So at least 85 to 90% of the time, I will just, as Anal has said in my chat, I will just stop hiccuping, you know? It's just, it is what it is. I just will stop. But if I'm in an area where it is appropriate to use my go-to, I will have a spoonful of sugar.
A spoonful of sugar?
Indeed.
To help the medicine go down?
Absolutely. But yeah, no, it's one of those ones that I've found that in the times I have used it has worked most efficiently.
Well, I mean, I usually go for the old honey.
You have honey is a similar kind of thing with a sweet, maybe sweet tastes we'll go for. Maybe I'll try honey the next time if it's appropriate.
We've got another question from Anal.
Oh dear God.
Apparently this is his last question, but I seem to doubt that.
I have strong reservations about believing that.
He wants to know how long your staff is, and he specifically put in inches.
Will feet do, sir?
Let's go with feet.
I mean, I'm not sure specifically how long it's right here though. So it is it's sort of, it goes from about my knee to my ear, so it's kind of that big. So I guess two and a half feet, maybe 3 foot. It's a big staff, that's all I'm saying. It's important for a wizard with a staff to use a big staff, you know. So what's that, about 36 inches ish?
Yes, 3 foot is 36 inches, so that'll do me.
That'll do it. I could be, I mean, I'm making an estimation because I'm about 5 foot something, and that's not quite as big as me. So it's 2.5 to 3 foot.
What is your go-to spell? You've been in an encounter. You see someone come up to you. You know that it's gonna hit the fan.
Swiggity swooty, I'm coming for that booty. Well, that is my go-to spell.
What would that consist of? So you've used that spell. What happens?
Well, what would happen next, usually, is that the adversary would be so confused as to why I'd said it and get a little bit worried that I was indeed going to come for the booty, that they would retreat hastily and never be seen again. Or they would become seduced, in which case not wanting to kill me. So either way, in this instance, a sweetie swooty coming for that booty would indeed be an efficient spell.
So definitely you've gone for the shock tactic.
Absolutely.
That's definitely, I mean, it works. If it works for her, I'll do the same thing. if I saw someone in a wizard outfit coming up saying "Swiggity swoody, I'm coming for that booty," I'll be like, well, okay.
It's never let me down, you know. Swiggity swag, get in the bag. I'm getting from my chat. I think that would be a good one. My favorite. I'll give you a free answer to a question no one asked. My favorite romantic line: roses are red, violets are blue. This rag smells funny to me. Does it smell like chloroform to you?
Yeah, that's perfect. I'll have to use that. The new Tinder bio is getting updated.
True story. I said that to my history teacher when it was Valentine's Day in high school, and I got a very dirty look from her. I didn't say it seriously. I want to clarify. I clarified it was the funny thing, but yes, this was said.
We've got a question from Silver Una.
Yep, that's the missus. She's right behind me.
You would like to ask what's your most powerful spell?
Evidently my spell of seduction, for the fact that she's been duped into dating me this long. Lord knows what I did, but it seems to have worked.
It's all a masquerade.
Of course, no. You've seen my personality. No one else is wanting this.
Oh my God.
I mean, just the in the background was that'll do.
Yeah, there you go. See, she's almost coming out of swiggity swag. Get in the bag. What did I love put? Swiggity swum just. Oh, good lord!
No.
I'm not saying that out loud. That's
You almost went there.
A chalice told me to read it.
No, I just didn't think what you put. I didn't say read it.
That's true. She didn't specify to read it. She said look, but you know.
Yeah, I think it works. Swiggity swam, get in my van. I mean,
Swiggity swam, get in my van. I like that one. Oh dear, this is definitely.
We're heading down the route of there's somebody out there that's going to think we're serious and start calling mental health.
I'm going to get swatted, aren't I?
Oh god, people getting swatted is funny to watch though.
I just feel bad, you know. What a waste of the police time and sort of. What a terrifying experience.
I mean, we're in England, so you wouldn't get much happen, to be fair.
I don't know. England only just had a terrorist attack yesterday. I feel like we might be in a bit of a hot pot at the moment. And it's always just, you know, they break your door down. You know, why would you want your door broken? It's expensive, man.
Out of everything, it's why would you want your door broken?
Well, you know, I've never been swatted, thankfully, and I hope I never am. So this is a terrible thing to say on the internet, granted. But please don't. It would be really irritating. But yeah, I mean, why would you want your door broken?
I mean, if you ever do get swatted, just hit him with the old spell.
I feel like that might go. I feel like the spell works better against people who aren't armed.
Have you got a disarming spell?
No, because usually my other spells work very effectively, but I feel like in the terms of the police, you may want to avoid saying random spells at them.
It won't be that good.
I feel like if you say swiggity swooty coming for that booty, you're more likely to become a victim of police brutality.
Well, yeah. Oh, well, I'm sure they might. You never know. You might get some policeman that goes, "Oh, actually."
Actually, I know you just called to say that you'd murdered someone, but...
You're starting to change my mind.
Maybe we could do it together next time. Anyway, I suppose this is rather getting a... Well then, that was a vibration and a half. What's going on over here? Oh, that's boring.
Some sort of magic.
Unfortunately, nothing interesting.
Okay, let's go for... What is the weirdest place you have ever been anywhere? Where's the furthest you have been?
Wales.
Wales. That is the weirdest and the furthest place.
Well, yeah, it was a really odd place because they spell ambulance but with a W, so it's like talking to an English small child because it's spelled like ambulance.
Ambulance.
It's just AMB double, like ambulance. It's very odd, but it's the furthest I've been because I don't really go abroad. So when I intend to go to Germany next year to meet some fans, so that will be an experience and a half because I've never been anywhere like on a plane or anything like that far. So it's certainly, Wales is definitely the strangest and farthest place I've ever been.
Yeah, no, I tell you what, that's fine with me. I mean, Wales is definitely the strangest place.
Wales is a very different sort of community. It's very odd because it's quite a small place, but it's still technically its own country. But then most of the rest of the world doesn't really see it as a country. It's just kind of like England's ugly twin sister or something, you know?
It's that bit on the side.
It's England's side bay. England is in a good deep relationship with Scotland and Ireland, but their side chick is Wales, you know. And now the Curry King has come back to hear me slacking off his country, so you know, there you go.
Oh dear. So you've just won the lottery.
I've won the lottery. Okay.
Well done. You've won. You've won. Let's go with £5 million.
Before or after tax? He says because apparently I've become very boring recently.
Let's go with after tax.
After tax, okay.
Because I reckon the tax on £5 million will be pretty hectic.
Yeah, it would be quite a large amount, I'm sure. So
what do you do? What do you do? You've got £5 million in your account. Money's no object. What do you do?
I mean, I'm quite a boring one. Realistically, if I won this much, I'd be terrified because statistically I'm far more likely to commit suicide and go bankrupt after I've won the lottery than beforehand. But it's a factoid for another day. If I were to win, I mean, I would use the money so I had a nest egg, and then I'd keep going with my streaming because this is something I want to do more often, like full time, but I don't have the funds to do that. But if I did, I'm a workaholic, so I could never go out of work completely, but I would definitely just put all my time and effort probably into streaming and buy myself a much nicer setup. Greetings there, Phoenix. How are you?
Put all of your money in an offshore bank account.
Not even that, just I would put it into PC upgrades, camera upgrades, monitor upgrade, all that kind of stuff. I'd have just the perfect streaming setup, and then I'd just work to try and make... I don't like spending vast sums of money if I don't have a way of making it back, you see? And indeed, buying all the games, I would never have to get free games again. But I still would accept them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'll be able... You couldn't spend that amount of money.
It's true. I mean, I think I would love to make sure my friends are comfortable is one of the things I would be aiming to do, especially with Chalice and whatnot. And since Chalice is an author by trade, I would make sure that she would make sure she would be able to publish a book, even if it's self-published, because she'd have the money to advertise it and whatnot with me. But as long as it's good. If it's shite, I'm not advertising it, you know. So she better do a good one.
Keep it.
Yeah, if it's shite, she can keep it. I need her to make me some money as well. But as I say, if it's $5 million, I would certainly put a little bit into that, and I would want to be able to make a source of income that's sustainable, so that I could continue to make $5 million, and not just because if you spend $5 million in one go, which is possible, you know, buy a nice house for a couple of million, and then suddenly half your money's gone and you're no better off. But
you got your electric to pay, you got your water, your...
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Imagine the home insurance on a £2 million house. I told you I've become very boring in the last year.
I can just see you've won the lottery. You're living in a flat above a betting shop because you can't figure out how
exactly
would work. No, I mean that's probably the best way to do it. Just chill.
This is the thing. I wouldn't tell anyone that I'd won. It sounds harsh, but I would keep it a secret because the one issue you get is if you win the lottery and people know about it, people suddenly become a lot friendlier with you and they want your money. You know, you have long-lost family relatives that you don't really care about. Oh, we're relatives. Can I borrow £100? No. Bugger off.
You start to get a bit...
And then you could...
You're my friend now, yeah?
You could never date anyone. You could never ever date anyone faithfully again, because you'd have no idea if they're just, especially when you got a face like mine, the likelihood they only want you for the money is pretty strong, you see. So you'd have to, yeah.
I mean, you haven't got much to worry about.
It's true, I don't think I'm gonna have to worry about winning the lottery, and I've already got a missus, so I've kind of got some of those bases covered.
I don't want to think of how it's a 1 in millions of chance of winning the lottery.
I think most people will spend more money on the lottery than they'll ever win, and that's a sort of depressing statistic.
Yeah.
But even if you do win, the statistics are that you're very likely to become bankrupt, even more so than if you hadn't won the lottery, and even more likely to get depression and commit suicide. So there you go. Fun facts from Maladek.
Everything comes up to death.
And even if there was some studies done, and even if it doesn't matter whether you spend it all in one go or you try and invest and make a business, there's no difference in the statistics particularly. You're still just as likely to go bankrupt, so it's like signing your own death warrant, you see.
Right. Well, that is one way definitely to look at it. Winning the lottery, you might as well just sign your own death warrant.
Yes, absolutely. Especially if you tell people. You tell people and it's just unbearable to live like that.
We've got a question, a final question from Einol.
I'm shocked.
When will you make a exclamation mark moan emoji? Emote.
Moan emote? Well, I mean, I'd have to become partner to create any more emotes on there. So once I'm averaging 75 viewers a stream, then we can talk about having some more custom emotes. That's basically it.
That's it, there we go.
Yeah, when you guys get your friends all watching and we get up to 75 average.
Get everybody watching, friends, family and everything.
Exactly, advertised like I would. Get the t-shirts with the Maladek the Wizard Twitch link on the back. That's what you gotta do.
Walk around and just paste it everywhere.
Do not viewbot me. Viewbotting is bad. Viewbotting bad. Dan's game.
Viewbotting bad.
Viewbotting Dan's game.
What? So we've got. You're a wizard. You're fond of a good sandwich now and then.
Yes.
You're fond of a mud drink.
My favourite, sorry?
A mud drink, I'm going to call it.
Oh, so yes, that's my mud drink, yes.
You're the kazoo man.
Yes.
What is something nobody knows? What is your secret talent? Nobody knows. What is something that you've had hidden away as a backup plan? You're at a party, the party's starting to die down. You go, don't worry guys, I've got this. What do you do?
That's a very good question. I mean, I'm quite an open kind of a person, so most things pretty much everyone already knows. I like to think I'm quite funny, so I guess I could pull out some jokes, but not really on the spot. I'm more situationally funny, so I couldn't really bring that out at a party. What could I bring out at a party? I mean, first things, I would never go to a party. Parties involve socializing and all this kind of stuff, but...
Let's put it in a hypothetical thing.
A hypothetical party, okay, that's fine. It's a very good question. What would I do in a party?
There's always something there. You've got to have something. There's always something hidden away.
I don't know, because a lot of the stuff I would have said was hidden away I've done on stream before. I suppose one of the more hidden things I do is the wizard voice. Not most people who are outside of the stream, not a lot of people witness this, and that I can do it for such a long amount of time, so in a party sense, I guess I could pull that out. I'm not sure it would revive a party, but I think the wizard voice would be my secret talent from most people.
So your secret is your secret identity.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Don't worry, guys. I've got this. Bring out the hat. the robes.
Yes, just
Slap the
I wish I
voice
could say that I was wearing these 24/7 and just underneath my regular clothing, but bloody hell are they hot.
on. As like a Superman suit.
Oh, yes! Don't worry,
Oh my God.
Maladek the Wizard to the rescue!
You need one of those, the magicians, I used to say magicians that got pop-up hats.
Yes. Need one of them and I need a smoke bomb so I can get changed. That's exactly it.
If you can get changed as the speed of a smoke bomb,
Well, I
that
mean,
would be your secret. That would be your secret.
I mean,
backup
these
plan.
robes, literally, you just put on over the top of yourself, so you could pretty much get them on at any point within a few moments. It's quite an efficient way of doing it.
Okay, we've got another question from Mr. Punishment.
I'm
A
shocked.
final question, I believe.
Yes.
But he keeps putting, I have a question, and then doesn't actually give you the question. So let's give him a minute to actually hit us with a question, because he says, "Oh, we've got a question." So what is your ambition in life? What do you want to gain, Mr. Maladek?
Now, that's actually much more of a...
I know I've gone for a bit of a. That's not from him. That's from me.
Oh, okay, I
I've
see,
hit you
that's fair. I thought that was from him. That really confused me.
Whoa.
My ambition in life, I mean... I want to be rich, but that's kind of a wishy-washy one. I think my ambition is to be self-sustainingly rich. So I don't want to really work for a company or work for... I want to work for myself and make sure, you know, my brand is me. So obviously Twitch was one of the ones, something that sort of attracted me to that kind of... I just realized my hat's on the wrong way. That's better. Twitch is certainly one of those ones that is an enabler of that, because it allows me to produce what I want when I want. But also kind of locks me into a schedule, because I could stream 1 hour a day at random times, but if I want to grow, I've found, you know, the 3 days a week I do is perfect for growth and all of that, and it's really been a challenge to sort of learn exactly how to do certain things. I really think that it's very much worth... That's my ambition, is to make this Twitch thing work out so I can be self-sustainingly rich and then go and meet people and see people and almost be a household name, but without the conventional kind of go on TV, because it's just such a cutthroat industry, whereas Twitch at least is more about the person than what they do.
So you basically you want to be self-sustaining.
Yes.
Will there be eventually in a time a Maladek meetup?
Absolutely. We did have actually one planned for tomorrow, but I didn't really advertise it very well until the last minute. So we have pulled the plug on that, but we are planning one for around Christmas time in the Brighton area, which anyone is welcome to attend. We will be having more details coming out on that very, very soon. Yeah, that's definitely the plan. Is the Maladek meetup? We're going to have anyone who comes will gain themselves a signed kazoo. Is my plan.
Because it's worth it just for that.
Exactly, you know. And obviously anyone who comes with the official merchandise on will get themselves a live kazoo solo from me in person.
A one-on-one kazooing.
Exactly. And obviously selfies and all that kind of stuff I'll do with people. And if you have a t-shirt, I'll sign that, all that kind of good stuff. The good PR stuff, you know. I will be in my wizarding robes as well, so that's something that would be a turnout for the books.
Hot.
You know, if I'm going to do a meetup, I'm going to do it right.
There's like a thing going off in my chat with Anal Punishment and Grim Reaper 666.
Ah, Grim Reaper, what a lad. I love Grim Reaper. He made a mod of me so that I'm in Darkest Dungeon in a specific mod that he's created on the workshop, which is wonderful. It's what we were exploring just before the interview.
Sylvia, it is possible to ask me a question. You can ask me any questions you want. I'm here for free.
I mean, I'm happy to not be here for free if people want to pay me, but at the moment I'm here for free. Who said I'm not a sellout? In fact, no one has ever said I'm not a sellout other than me. So yes, I'm a sellout. That's how I make my money. You know, it's all about selling out.
Mate, call yourself a sellout, and then nobody else can.
I mean, everyone will, but it doesn't have much of an effect when I'm agreeing with them.
It's like saying, "Oh yeah, well I am. Well done."
I'm selling out.
So you better get this party started. I really do enjoy that command. It's a good one.
Get the party started on the Saturday night.
He knows it, people. He knows it. What can I say?
Oh, well, good old, it's British. That's disco music. That is.
Exactly, but I changed it from coming out to selling out.
Yes.
There's a command in my channel, if you type !sell out, that comes up on the audio. Because, you know, when you've got expensive audio equipment, you might as well abuse it for all it's worth.
Well, yeah, that is definitely a. Well, yes, I would. I would have a command that I don't know what it would say, but I would do it, and it would say something special.
There's many. I think we've got about 6, 7, or 8 of those kinds of commands in there at the moment. It's certainly something I think that sets me apart from a lot of streamers. I think that's one of the important things I found is it's about not just about who you are, but what you bring to the table. Because Twitch is an established platform, so if you can't bring something, you know, there's every person between sort of the age of 12 and 40 has sat in a bedroom talking into a microphone, but you know, you've got to bring something that's new, something that people go, oh, well, this weirdo's a bit different from the other weirdos I watch.
This weirdo has something about him.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you there. You've got to be weird, but weirder than everybody else.
Yes, that's exactly right, or weird in a different way.
Brand of weird. Weird.
Yes. A different brand of weirdo, Cammy says. That's right, sir.
That's perfect. That's exactly how I would say it. A different brand of weird. I mean, let's get with a couple more questions because I know you want to get back to streaming.
That's absolutely fine. I'm happy to go wherever. I'll come out of costume when we're talking the business side of things, I think, so that we can have more of a frank discussion on that. So we'll go with the weird ones, the weird and wacky first.
The weird and wacky questions.
Yes.
Let's get some more. Cause I think this is not very put together. I just threw this together because I'm not very, what's the word, professional.
That's fine. It's all good. Everyone starts somewhere, you know. It's like myself.
It's like a game of Snake. Everyone's got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
What would you say is your steed? Not steed, but mount. What would you ride into battle?
I would probably ride a griffin or a phoenix.
A phoenix? I'm guessing. I would go with griffin. 'Cause I think phoenix. They're more of a attack from above.
I can still ride on one's back. That's right, Cammy. I would ride phoenix. You're definitely right, good sir.
He would ride phoenix.
That's right, boy.
I honestly, I don't know what weird questions, how weird we can go.
You can go as weird as you like. If it gets too weird, I'm sure Chalice will punch me, so you know that, then I'll know it's gone too far.
Let's go with what is the weirdest thing you have ever done? That's the god of weird questions, that is. What is the weirdest thing you have ever done?
I mean, this entire stream is pretty weird.
It's pretty weird.
In fact, I'll give you the weirdest thing I've ever done. I think I can pretty much come up with this. It involves costumes, so it's almost what we're doing now, but I used to work in a young people's nursery, you know, with small children, and I was in college at the time, so I walked from my nursery job to my college in a elf onesie with a hat. So I was fully no anal, not that. That's not where this is going. So I was walking out in public in an elf onesie and stayed in college the entire day in an elf costume.
I bet that was fun though. Don't tell me it wasn't fun.
Oh, of course it was fun. I'm a massive weirdo, and nothing phases me. It certainly.
Has one more. His question was, "Can I have mod?"
And the answer is no.
There we go.
You've gone to work at a penguin onesie, Cammy. That's good.
That was very, very blunt.
I always say no to anyone who asks. If you have to ask to be mod, you're not doing a good enough job at reading the rules.
What is? This could be a game. It could be a bit of hardware. It could be a bit of whatever. What is the thing you spent the most money on?
Ooh. So, my guitar, probably. It's in its case, I think, at the moment. But which one was the most expensive? I think the most expensive one was my Faith. I can get it out. I don't know if it's in tune, so I can't play it for you, but I think this, or unless you count all of the parts to put my PC together as a whole, that was the most expensive purchase.
I think it works.
But here we go. But yeah, this guitar right here was the most expensive single item I've ever bought.
Nice. I am a fan of a little pluck of a guitar.
It's good, man. It's been in its box for a while now, so I can't be asked to tune that. It's in a very strange tuning. I think it's in open D at the moment, which is not a common tuning. I'll give it that. But yeah, certainly the guitar is the most expensive single item, and then the microphone I'm using now is a pretty close second.
I think is it a Sennheiser one?
That's right, it's Sennheiser. I'm very proud of you. Hashtag check the description if you want to get yourself some Sennheiser gear and support me at the same time.
Oh.
There you go, settling out like a pro. But yeah, this is a Sennheiser Mark 14, I think? Mark 4 digital, which comes to a solid £400 when you buy it.
Get this party started.
Nice.
It's a sexy mic, so I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
It'll do, you know, it'll do.
We've had a question from Grim Reaper 666.
Yes.
Why do you stream only on Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday? Is there a reason?
So, I would love to stream 5 days a week, but at the moment, I spend Friday and Saturday working, which means I pretty much can't stream then unless I want to be really tired. And if I did the other 5 days, I would end up getting very burned out. So, if I did Sunday through Thursday, which I did try at one point, I'd end up by the Friday I was really tired, and then I would not enjoy the streams because it was more like I've got to do it rather than I really want to do it. Whereas with the 3 days, I have every other day off in the week pretty much, and then after 2 days at work I really want to stream because I end up missing you guys, so it kind of makes me want to interact with you guys more, and I think it's suddenly it's something I would love to do more of, but logistically at the moment I can't do that because the stream doesn't make enough money to say I don't need to work, and I can't put 5 days in here and then 2 days on work. I'm tempted to add a Saturday stream or a Friday stream in at some point, but I'm not really sure. This is...
What happens.
Absolutely.
That's how I look at it. Some days you wake up and feel, well, I don't really want it.
Exactly. I mean, if it's a scheduled stream, I'm now sticking to it. Even if I'm really tired and I don't want to, I'm still doing it. You can tell when it's one of those streams, and they don't happen very often because I get enough rest now, and a lot of the time I spend working on the stream in those days off and doing extra things here and there. But certainly there's been a couple of streams where it's been like, if I didn't have to do it, I wouldn't be too mad. But I do get quite lonely if I don't talk to you guys for a while, because it's quite a... It's quite a nice experience just coming online and saying hello to everyone and finding out how you're all doing.
Well, do you know about the 5-second rule?
Absolutely.
Are you a firm believer of the 5-second rule?
I will go up to the 5-hour rule. I don't care how long food has been on the floor. If it's food and it's edible and the floor isn't particularly dirty, I will eat it.
I mean, that is probably one of the weirdest, best answers I've ever heard.
The thing is, I don't think it really matters. Like, if you're gonna say that if food's gone on the floor for a bit, it's edible, well, I don't think the time is gonna change that, other than the fact if it's been there longer, all the diseases on it have probably died off by now from being outside of the human body temperature, so it's probably safer to eat it once it's gone cold on the floor than when it's warm.
Anal wants to know if you would ever eat food off the sidewalk, or pavement, as we call it.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. There's a bit of cheeseburger on the floor. That's going in.
I mean, if the food is like, as long as I can sort of tell that the food is edible and not been shit on, then that's pretty good, you know? It's all good.
If it's in a wrapper, I mean...
Absolutely.
If it's in a wrapper, it'll be dapper.
Absolutely. I mean, if it's in a wrapper, it's not been damaged by the floor at all. It's just someone left me a free chocolate bar. But, I mean, it's good for your immune system to do stuff that could give it a disease because it keeps it active, you know? It's like a muscle. If you don't use it, it won't work.
Yeah, I know that.
They say at the moment a lot of children end up with sort of, because they're not given gluten, they end up gluten intolerant because their body's not used to eating that kind of stuff. So even though the child was fine before, because parents have stopped them from eating certain foods and sort of things, their immune systems are worse and weakened and they can't deal with new experiences and new things. So, I mean, I'm definitely a big fan of, you know, I mean, just screw myself up as much as I like, because eventually I'll get used to it, you know?
We've had another question from Anal. This one is actually... It's a legit question this time.
Yes?
An actual legit question. Will you ever do an IRL stream in your wizard outfit?
If I do the meetup in December, one of my plans is to do some small snippet IRL streams in the wizard outfit whilst we have the meetup so you can see everyone.
Well, there we go. That sounds perfect. Just a little bit here and there, a little bit slapdash.
Yeah, absolutely. It's because I've not really gone very far into the IRL streaming category, and it's more of a, I don't know, I've never really delved too much into it because I don't live a particularly interesting life. But I would, if I was meeting fans, I think it'd be great because then the community can see the fans and I can see the fans, and as long as they're over the age of 18, then that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen there's a lot of IRL stuff that Twitch is doing now, but it's not getting as big as what it could be, I think.
I think the issue is that in IRL streams you get a lot more, I feel a lot more toxicity in an IRL stream than a game stream.
If you're out and about, I mean, you're streaming your location live on the internet.
Well, exactly, yes. And, you know, you get the, I think it was I think it was like Ice Poseidon or one of those who, was it that? Chalice, you may know that. You know the guy who, was live streaming IRL and people kept putting, like, bomb sounds in the chat? You know which one I'm talking about?
There's many streamers that do this thing
that doesn't cover. That's a very wide variety.
That's a Arab Andy. That sounds about right. Yeah, no, he used to walk in. He'd go into public places, and yeah, his chat would just put in like bomb detonating in 3, 2, 1, and then would have like sounds and then an explosion sound, and I don't want to be that guy, you know.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I mean, it's one of the benefits I have from the fact that I do like the fact that my mods do a pretty good job, and I think I do a pretty good job of making sure the community stays fairly normal. Like, not normal per se, but it's not that toxic, you know?
It's a chill stream. Everything goes chill.
Yeah, we've had some high-octane streams, but it really just boils down to as long as you're not being racist or offending anyone particularly, or not offending anyone I care about, it's fine.
It's fine. Anything goes other than that.
Unless someone's being ridiculous, in which case you can offend them all they like, because being offended is your own fault, not someone else's. If you are offended, that's because that's your problem. Offense is a subjective thing, and it's different for everyone. And if you're the person who's been offended, like, unless someone has physically attacked you, just deal with it.
Yeah, fair play to me. That seems fair to me.
Like, I've never understood. It's a construct at the moment. If someone is offended, that means that you should do something. Now, I mean, in a civilized society, if you think you're offending someone, then, I mean, you should stop it, but being offended doesn't give you any rights.
No. Oh, that went very deep there.
I mean, it's just something that's always annoyed me, because, I mean, I'm a very open person. I don't particularly... People say lots of things to me, I don't particularly care, but, you know, if someone is offended, then, you know, they've got to deal with that. Why should I change what I say because you don't like it, in the same way that you won't change that you're offended at me because I don't like that you're offended?
Well, Cameron's just hit you with he's offended by you talking about being offended.
Yes, indeed, but I'm going to level with a little song, and I don't give a fuck. You know, just a little something like that.
Oh, that's brilliant. I need one of them stream decks.
It's good, man. The Stream Deck is very useful. I mean, to be fair, that was just me going, I don't give a fuck, but I really do need to have an I don't give a fuck command on my Stream Deck.
It was like I know that as a button.
Oh, that's a good... Chalice, write that down. Write that down. That's coming. The I don't give a fuck command.
Put that down.
Okay, no more swear words on the Christian stream. No worries, Black Blood. We got you covered, sir.
This is a child-friendly Christian stream.
It's a Christian stream, people. Meme review.
Dead. Would you rather have 50 $1 bills, or, well, let's say 50 pound coins, or 50 pound note?
A 50 pound note. Because then you can walk into a shop and watch them, like, do the little pen on the thing to make sure you're not faking it, and then give you that look of, oh, he's just a rich dickhead.
He's just a rich dickhead.
Or entire rich Quaitong.
I think I'd rather go for the 50 £1 coins.
But why? I don't understand why you'd want this.
Would you walk into a shop, you look at something, that's £50, and you just pour out £50 coins, or 500 pennies.
As someone who's worked in retail and in fast food, I can systematically tell you that if you're paying for something that's 50 quid with pound coins, you're a bellend.
You, sir, are a bellend.
You, sir, are a dickhead. There's no questioning this.
Walks in, pays something, pound coins, done.
Walk in and pay for something that's £1 with a £50 note, and at least it's not difficult to give change for that, because it's just 2 20s, a fiver, and £4 coins.
You've worked in retail. Maybe you can give me a bit of a how-to. Let's say something is, I don't know, £4.20.
Yes.
They hand you the £5 and also the 20p.
Yes.
I can't get that. I can't figure that out.
It's £1.
No, I mean, you know how I mean. Like they say, oh, don't pay the extra fucking change or something. If you've given me the money already, don't be an ass about it.
This is the thing. I don't understand why you would, like, give them the money and then halfway through them counting your change go, oh, here's the extra bit. It's like, no. We've made this agreement together. Fuck off.
That's what I'm on about. They're giving, like, the little bits of change.
There's nothing wrong. If you give them the little bit of change at the start of the transaction and go, I'm going to pay you £5.20, so when you're typing the till, you can type 5.20, and it will tell you. I mean, I can do pretty good mental maths, but it's just annoying when you've got the number in your head, and suddenly it changes, like, oh, for feck's sake. Just don't. It's like people who pay all in change. Like, oh, I'm just going to pay for this in pennies. Fuck off. No. Give me a pound. I can... Or when they count out their money and you can see in their hand is the correct denomination of change. Like, if they're paying £1 and they spend it all in 10p's, you're like, there's a pound coin there. I can see it. It's right there. That is your pound. That is the pound coin. That is what you're. I don't care. Give me the fucking coin.
Let me take it.
You know what? Fuck you. I'm taking it anyway.
You've given me the right amount. I'm taking this pound as a tip.
Exactly.
I mean, Anal Postman has put a question into my chat, which I don't even think that should be a question. I mean, he's asked what is heavier, 100 pounds of. I'm gonna go with. Well, you know what it is, or 100 pounds.
100 pounds in pound coins are 100 pounds.
No, 100 pounds. He's put 100. I'm gonna go with. Let's go with it. Anything goes. 100 pounds of cum or 100 pounds. What's heavier?
Well, they're both the same weight.
That's what he says. That was his question. That was his final question.
Unless you're talking about 100 pounds in currency, in which case that's a lot lighter, I would imagine.
Well, there we go. I had a punishment. That's about. He said no. 100 pounds is 100 Great British pounds sterling.
There you go. I even covered that. It's all good.
It's all good. We sorted your questions. He failed. I failed. Everyone's failed. Punishment. That was a rubbish question. Don't say another one. Frankly.
Oh God.
He's a wizard and you're bad.
It's okay, Cammy, because you've also paid me lots of money, which means I can't say you're the worst kind of person. You're just the worst kind of person to go shopping with. Unless I'm going shopping with you. So I'm being interviewed, Black Blood, by Mr. Captain England. Now, if someone can just type in his Twitch link, that would be beautiful, please. Chalice.
I think I can. I mean, I'm not doing too much.
Done.
Oh, no, I haven't got it. I don't have a... I pasted something and it was a paste to the Google Hangouts call.
Good job.
Yeah, maybe we should do that. Maybe I should eventually get some viewers in to ask questions. That might be a little bit of a...
That's a dangerous game to play in my chat, I'm telling you.
I'm a very dangerous person.
But Dreams, he is the best person for me to go shopping with because he's known to buy me a lot of free shit.
That is something. Free shit is good shit.
Yeah, exactly. He's gotten me a lot of stuff on the channel over the months. Subscriptions, $100, some games, all good.
All good.
All good. You've got a long staff. Good thing, Black Blood. You should definitely drop him that follow.
Would you rather continue living until you're 100?
Yes.
Or restart your life from the very beginning?
Oh, totally continue living. My life's amazing.
Rich, I'm brilliant.
Look at the community I've built. That's like one of the best things. I'm doing well in my education. I'm having a good time. I have Chalice, you know, all this good stuff. It's all very... Yeah, there's certain things you would change, but I mean, totally, there's nothing that, you know, it's...
You wouldn't want to change your life to how it is now.
Exactly. None of the stuff that's happened that's been negative has had a negative impact on me particularly. It's just changed the way I've seen things. It's changed an opinion on that I can have. It's all good experience.
No, I think that's probably the best answer to that question that I've ever encountered.
Excellent. I like to be the anomaly.
Well done. You.
Thank you.
And I would like to say, I think we're going to wrap it up because I know you finished streaming at midnight, so I don't want to interrupt you anymore.
That's all good. If you want to ask the business questions, you can. I'm pretty sure this is quite enjoyable. If you do want to go, that's also fine. I can go. You want to see my wizard stuff? Some of you weren't here when I showed that.
What about your wizard stuff, Maladek?
Here it is.
There we go.
There you go.
Lovely stuff. There it is. Long, slick, black, and good head.
Indeed. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to go with the sort of the Twitch side of things if you wish, or
Yeah,
I can.
Let's hit it up with some
Okay, we'll go to the business head now.
Oh god, man, I mean.
Da 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 da. Whoops. Da 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 da. Right. Okay. So we got business questions now, people. I mean, demonetized. All right, we got business questions.
The question that was in the Discord, which I did have written down, but I have now lost.
Yes.
Your general, I feel bad to ask this. Your general income via Twitch, sir.
Not a lot. It's
finished. There we go.
If
That
I
was the answer
say,
to that one.
I think from my time of starting Twitch, it's probably about $450, which sounds like a good amount, but you break that down into the fact I've done over 500 hours worth of streaming, we're looking at less than $1 an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that the bits are something. One bit is like what, 1 cent.
1 bit is a cent, but you know, it's the way I look at it is that most of the investment I do into the stream is after I've made money. So because I've started where I am, I can it doesn't matter if I make $1 million or $1. I'm not particularly out of pocket. I've spent a little bit of extra funds here and there, but it's stuff that I can afford to kind of burn a little bit.
Part with, yeah.
So it's one of those ones that I've not technically made any money, but I also haven't spent a lot of money because it's kind of yeah. It's
No, that makes sense. I mean, at the end of the day, would you be willing if say someone said we're going to pay you to do this? Would you pay promotions? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, absolutely. If it's a product I believed in, like as I say, one of the things that I've been a pretty big stickler for is when I'm using monetization stuff like Sennheiser, Humble Bundle, all those kind of people that support me. If you guys buy stuff from them, I won't advertise for them unless I've used a product by them or used their product or whatever. So NordVPN is the first one I did where I hadn't used them, but I made sure that when I got that agreement, I said I want a 30-day free trial so I can try the service and see what it's like, because I'm not willing to tell people they should buy your product if I'm not satisfied that it's good myself. And I think that's probably one of the biggest kind of things that any Twitch streamer should do, is because if you start even if you're like got 10 viewers, like I do sort of consistently now, and you start advertising for stuff you haven't used, if like half of them use the product and go, "Man, that's shit, why are you advertising it?" they will know, they will know that you're bullshitting them. And I think if you start bullshitting your audience when you're small, it doesn't matter how big you get, people are always going to go, "You know what, that guy, he has no credibility."
Back in the day, we remember when they'll always find something to bring out. And
I think I will always say, if I'm sponsored by something, I make a big thing. I will, even if I'm not saying something specific that I have to, like, whenever I talk about Sennheiser, I will then go, #Sennheiser, check the links, because I want people to know that although I mean, I've been a big Sennheiser fanboy for literal years, I've gotten so many of their products anyway, but I want people to know that when I'm talking about the fact I love the product, I have a vested interest in telling them this is a product that you will enjoy, because if I don't tell them that, then they will look down and go, "Yeah, but is it really good, or is he just, is he just saying that?" And I don't want to be that guy. I don't think anyone really wants to be that guy. I mean, I'll be balanced. There have been, I wouldn't buy cheap Sennheiser products because there's no real difference between a 30 quid set of Sennheisers and a 30 quid set of Sonys or JVCs or something. You've got to spend the money if you want to start actually getting the proper brand style. I mean, they last quite a long time. I give it my 30 quid Sennheisers have lasted for about 4 years before one of the years has finally failed on it. But I mean, I have, 2 sets of headphones and 2 sets of earphones by Sennheiser that aren't those ones, that were a lot more, that I can now use. But, hey there, Pieter. How you doing? That work very well and have lasted a long time as well. So it's certainly, paid promotion is not a bad thing. And I mean, it's important, because if you want to be successful on Twitch, you have to be able to make it your full-time job pretty much. And if you want to do that, you have to make as much money as you would be if you were in a full-time job. Even if it's a minimum wage full-time job, you have to make money somehow. But I think if I were to do paid promotion, I would want to see the product first before I made sort of
test of it first. Make sure you're not selling, peddling it really.
It's the same reason that when I was looking for kazoos for the meetup, which I still need to source, although I'm not going to buy, the premium kazoo that I currently use, I'm trying to source kazoos that aren't going to break after 30 seconds, so I'm trying to source the ones I originally bought, which were £1 each when I bought them. I'm trying to source those ones so that I have a repository of kazoos that I know are fairly decent. They're not the best, they're not the worst, they're plastic kazoos, not metal ones, but it's important that if I'm putting my name to something, that something is good quality. And the same as the advertisers will say, a lot of advertisers won't look at a small streamer because they're like, well, he's only seeing 10 people, he's not the best quality compared to someone who's seeing 10,000 people. it's a give and take. If I'm making a lot of people watch me, then there's clearly a quality to my stream that they want, and if their product is good, then there's always a there's quality to the product, so it kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah, show off. You prefer more branding over not branding, but actually making things work better than a certain brand, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a lot of, I wouldn't try and cross brands. Like if I've got an audio brand that does something, unless another audio brand was offering something different. So if it was headphones from one, and from another one it was, say, audio interfaces like amps and DACs and that, I would say that's fine, but I wouldn't try and sell, Sennheiser one side and Beats the other side, because although I prefer one over the other, I wouldn't want to advertise two conflicting brands, because otherwise they're going to go, well, which one does he like, and which one is he just saying he likes because they're paying him more money, or so on and so forth.
So at the end of that, you would say Sennheiser says, we want to sponsor you.
Absolutely.
Want to be in your, before that, you will have to either like show an advert for us, or give us positive reviews. Would you take it for them saying you can only give positive reviews if we find out that you've given
Not
out
at all.
negative review?
I would never, because I believe, I mean, to be fair with Sennheiser, because I like the products, I wouldn't make that deal, because I'd go, look, I've done your products before, I like them, but if you produce a shitty one, I'm going to talk about it. Because, I mean, if you love a brand as much as I love Sennheiser, you have to be willing to go, something, like I've said, I wouldn't buy their cheap stuff, because their cheap stuff's no better than anyone else's cheap stuff, whereas their expensive stuff, I have a personal bias, I think it's really, really, really good. So pretty much that's I wouldn't accept a deal where I couldn't give my opinion, because then they're not paying for me to sponsor them, they're paying for me to shill for them, which is slightly different.
No, that makes sense. I'm with you there. Yeah. Don't give. It's not paying for. I don't know. Say that I'm good. I'll give you money.
Yes.
That's basically that's the.
I mean, if they have to ask people to do that, it would imply the product isn't good, which I think is an even bigger thing. Because if I come out and go, you know what, I had to say that, then it has a much more detrimental effect to the agreement.
These people have paid me to say.
These people have so little faith in their product that they are paying me, that would be terrible. Whereas I can say now, I benefit from giving Sennheiser good reviews, because if I say that Sennheiser products are good, people are more likely to go and click and buy them. But I also don't benefit from the fact that if people find out I'm bullshitting them, which I'm not, because the Sennheiser products they use are great. I want to make that clear before this gets clipped all out of context. But if I were to say they were good and they weren't good, then it would have such a negative impact on me, because people would just go, he's lying. You can't trust what someone said. Then you don't want that attached to your name, especially as a social media sort of influencer, a streamer, or a YouTuber. The minute that gets attached to your name, that you advertise this product, it's the same with stuff like G2A. I know do a really good sponsorship deal, from what I've heard, a good affiliate deal, but I won't bind with them, because I'm not 100% sure on their business practices, and as I say, they don't do anything illegally wrong, but it's something, I don't use the service because I'm not 100% convinced by it, so I wouldn't advertise for them, because I don't want my stream to be looking at that and going, well, Maladek clearly uses them. I've used them in the past before, but it's something I avoid doing where possible, because I personally don't like the service to a degree, and I prefer something like Humble Bundle, which I do support, because Humble Bundle do me a good one, Yeah, no,
I mean, that's fair. You pay for what you get at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Right, I think this has been very productive, I think.
Absolutely.
An insight into an insight into a small streamer, if you will.
Absolutely, definitely. Yes, Humble Bundle sucked my dick. That's quite right, good sir.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. That's why I advertise for them, because they do. I'm kidding. They
sexual favors, and then you get advertisement. That's how it works.
Speaking of which, Silver Challenge. What? Oh, I'm glad she wasn't listening to that bit. We're in the clear.
Yeah, Phew.
Just gonna watch the VOD and get worried. Oh god damn it, which one of those clips are we there? Oh god.
Oh no. We couldn't find that clip.
Humble Bundle do rule, I agree. Phoenix, if you're ever looking for something off Humble Bundle, let me know. I will hook you up with an affiliate link there, so I can make some money out of the purchase you're going to make, and you get probably no benefits out of it, I don't think, but you know that I've gotten some free shit. Hit payday, you know?
In the good.
That's right. That's right.
Well, all in all, I'd like to say thank you to you, Maladek, and thank you to your chat, 'cause they have come up with most of the questions, to be fair.
It's good. It's good. It's very good. It's good to have them here.
This was kind of thrown together.
Yeah, it's thrown together. I think that's the best interview, though, because then it's it's not... Like my chat when I said, have you got any questions you'd like to ask yesterday, they're like, oh, it's going to be scripted, it's going to be no good. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to... I don't know that he's going to use them. I'm just giving him some questions to give him something to go off that you guys want to hear. I had, to be fair, 85% of these I wouldn't have come up with myself and wasn't expecting, so which is good because it meant I was being a bit more real, so... Obviously the business ones I, had thought of anyway because... I mean, that's most of what I think about nowadays is how to grow the brand. So,
yeah, I think next time I'll come up with an actual list and have a set list for asking different people.
It's a good idea. I mean, it's certainly worthwhile to like experiment and like work out where you're going with certain things and go, you know what, I'm going to try out this kind of question. And I mean, getting the audience to come up with them is good for engagement, I think, which is another part of Twitch. If you can keep the audience engaged, you're going to keep them there for longer because they now have a connection to you more than they have to anyone else doing the same thing. So it works. It works. I mean, it's a little bit, I think, all over the place from both of us, but it's very good.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's something different.
Absolutely, it's certainly different from my usual scheduling. I think my chat have definitely enjoyed it because we've got a lot of people talking in there, and I think it's good for them to get to see the real me outside of gaming. And I'm really tempted to do some more kind of like just talking to the audience style, like maybe for half an hour before the start of the normal streams and kind of thing.
Yeah, just like a little get together.
Absolutely, it's like a little gathering of friends, if you will.
A fireside gathering.
Absolutely. Campfire song.
I would like to say, well, we're going to end it here. I'd like to say a big thank you to Maladek.
No problem, sir.
His stream, his chat. If I can remember how to do this whole Twitch thing, I'll be putting this VOD in the YouTubes if that is possible. Yeah, it's absolutely possible. If you need any hand with that, I will give you a hand with that and show you how to do it. There we go then. Once that link is all set up and it's been uploaded, I'll spread the love with the link. Thank you very much. I will see you all. I'm sure I'll see your chat very soon. Are you going off to game or are you going off to sleep? I'm going to game. You're going to game. Okay, as am I. So I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon. It's been wonderful. It's been a really fun experience, I think. I wasn't sure how long to expect or what I was expecting, but it was really insightful, I think. It worked. It worked. It did. Right. Yeah, again, thank you, and see you later, guys. Goodbye. Well, I'm back, people. We're going to go straight back to our darkest dungeon because it is now 15 minutes until the stream is meant to end, which means, as you know, when it's going to be like that and I really want to play something, I'm going to play it for a lot longer than I'm supposed to, so, we're probably going to be here until about 1 a.m, so we've probably got another hour's worth of gaming. Chalice is probably giving me a dirty look right now. I am going to go to the loo because I need to drink. She will fill in for me to a degree. There we go. Just log in there. There we go. Back to the sort of the gaming-centric area.